What makes a basketball champion? Is it true that any person, regardless of height and weight, if given all the time in the world and have driven to one singular goal, could be the best? Probably not. Similarly, there are those with the ideal gene makeup, the perfect height, uncanny dexterity, amazing jumping ability, but maybe they've never even seen a basketball. It takes just the right mix of talent, timing, work, and luck to singularly make it on the big stage. But then to win it all, 15 of those perfect individuals must find each other and the coaches to steer them. It is a magical chemical mix. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks found that mix. So when the time came to design and construct the championship rings, from the rarest of materials to commemorate the rarest of seasons, everything had to be just right.
Step one, meet with the guys. Before you do anything, you need to go in and determine exactly what they want. How do we make this into reality and build our story into it?
The story is an amazing one, but we'll get back to that in a moment. The guys were the leaders of this team on the court, as well as in the design of the Mavericks' first championship ring. Dirk Nowitzki, the soft-spoken German-born 7-footer, who spent his entire career in Dallas as the unquestioned face of the franchise. And Jason Kidd, who has rewritten what it is to be a point guard with the second most assists in NBA history.
What Jason wanted was a really nice, didn't have to be the biggest ring that's ever been made. He wanted the logo to be front and center, but not overpowering. He wanted the story, and he wanted a nice, elegant ring, obviously with some bling to it. I think Derek was dealing more with Kidd to go back and forth with us. So he was in the background directing Jason what to tell us.
As for owner Mark Cuban, his instructions were simple.
Let the players get whatever they want.
What they wanted was the ultimate representation of the long struggle to the franchise's first title, one that began long before 2011. It had been 31 seasons since Donald Carter won the right to bring the Mavericks into existence, and each of those years would be commemorated with its own stone surrounding the iconic logo.
31 custom-cut stones that create a perfect circle. Not only that haven't been done before, it's extremely difficult to do. This is probably the most complex rings we've ever done as far as number of components that go together to make that ring.
But the work was just beginning. Executing the player's next request turned out to be nothing short of a design marvel, as the ring called for a striking white diamond face that also allowed the Mavericks blue to shine through as well.
We took the Mavericks logo, split it up into 6 separate different components, and then assembled that onto a blue corundum stone that gives a hue of blue behind the logo in all white. So, sounds easy, but it's quite complex.
The story of the ring, however, was about to get even more complex. On one side, a Mavericks M emblazoned with 15 diamonds, one for each player on the championship roster. On the other, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, covered in diamonds, with the playoff slogan, "The time is now," represented as well. From there, the tale continued to the inside of the ring, where the scores from each playoff series were embossed along with the classic cowboy hat Mavs logo. And of course, one lone diamond to represent the franchise's first world title.
Once we determine the size and shape, how do we make this into reality and build our story into it? That is the die cutting process. We take the art and turn it into a three-dimensional object. Once that's done, then the manufacturing process starts.
Each die is then injected with wax, creating an exact but temporary replica of the ring. The wax ring is then sized to each player's specifications and attached to a wax pole with other rings, creating a tree. This tree is then covered in a liquid plaster. From there, it's into the kiln for an overnight bake at 1350 degrees, at which point the wax inside evaporates, creating a cavity in the exact shape and size of each ring. The following morning, 14-karat gold pellets are dropped into a machine with a crucible that's set to just under 2,000 degrees, liquefying the gold, which is then injected into the mold, creating the ring itself. Once cooled, the plaster is placed in water and, amazingly enough, it all just washes away, giving us our first look at the rings of Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, and Dirk Nowitzki. The rings are then individually cut off the tree and ready to start the assembly process.
So you got now the core of the ring, but if you see that, to be honest with you, you wouldn't pick it up on the floor. It's still rough. Then the goldsmithing starts. The master goldsmiths, the master stone setters analyze exactly how they're going to finish the ring, how we're going to assemble it, how we're going to put it together. Stage one, take it back to stone setting, set all the stones, 257 stones per ring. That's a lot of stones to set. And then you go through the polishing stage, cleaning, polishing. And then the assembly. Final polishes are done, then you do your rhodium plating and all that until you get to the final product.
Once completed, the Mavericks' 2011 championship ring was one of the finest ever assembled.
Overall, it's 257 diamonds, totaling almost 10 carats of diamonds and 3 ounces of 14-karat gold. I mean, you can't get any better than that, okay?
The final product, however, wasn't shown to the players until the official ring ceremony on January 25, 2012 at American Airlines Center. The night was the culmination to the story of the 2011 championship. All Maverick fans will hold those memories forever. And for the players, the ring symbolizes what they accomplished: hard work, dedication, teamwork, and ultimately their place in history. The ring is the thing, and now they have theirs. The 2011 NBA champion, Dallas Mavericks.
The ring looks outstanding, it's nice, it's blinging, so definitely an exciting day.